Hey guys, welcome back to another Sussy Gacha Sundays where I play 3 new gacha games, review them, and then give you guys the pros and cons of each game so you guys can decide if you want to play these games. So guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking about 3 new games, guys. Limbus Company, a Fire Force gacha game, and a Street Fighter mobile game. Now guys, most of these games are actually pretty good except for one. One was extremely bad, one of the worst games I played on this series so far. So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the first game, which is Limbus Company. Limbus Company is a turn-based RPG set in like a dystopian world, and I found it pretty fun. I found it to be pretty good. So let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons now of this game. Starting off with the pros first. All the pros I have for this game, guys, literally goes into the actual gameplay itself. So we're just going to be talking about that there. Nothing else for the pros really, in my opinion. For me, the pros are the combat, the team building, and all the different ways of combat and gameplay that it actually gives you. It feels new and refreshing. So guys, pro number 1 is the combat. Like I said, guys, there are 2 different combat systems that I found in this game. So let's go ahead and talk about the first one, which is the main one you'll be using throughout the story and your events and stuff like that. Basically, you'll go through all of your characters and link up their skills together. The more colors that you have matching, the more bonuses you get, and the more colors you collect mean the more ultimates that you can use with these characters, because they require a certain amount of nodes collected to actually use their ultimate ego skills. And honestly, I found this to be really unique. I haven't seen this done too much in other gacha games before, and that kind of leads us into number 2 now, which is the secondary combat, which still has the node-based combat, but you have to choose what targets you want to attack or what parts of a target you want to attack. Like when you face a big boss or something like that, they have multiple parts, so you're going to choose what targets you want to attack on that boss. The link skills work exactly the same. You just have to target certain parts of a body and stuff like that. Rather than going through a chain and linking up everything, you just choose your target, and as long as you have a certain amount of these nodes collected, you can still use ultimate skills on the enemies, and I think it just feels really new and refreshing for the combat and stuff like that. Now let's talk about pro number 2, which is the team building. So I found that the team building and characters are really unique in this game. So they basically give you everyone in the game that is already out in 0 stars, or you could consider this a rare character. Then from there you can upgrade these characters to SR and SSR depending on what your gacha pools are looking like. All you have to do to change these is go into your team, select one of the characters that you got the higher variant for, and then you can select what version of that character you want, whether it be the SR or SSR, or whatever version of the SSR you might want to pick from them. They also have these things called egos too, which are skills. These can be collected in a shop. Basically, the more dupes you pull, the more chance you have to get buying these egos from the shop. Now, personally, I haven't pulled egos for my character, so I just have the base abilities for all the characters right now. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about pro number 2 now, which is the character building. Now, character building is really nice. You have to switch and swap characters depending on the bosses you fight. And the reason why you would want to be switching and choosing different teams for each boss or each event is because of typings, and also because of the affinities you need to launch off certain skills and certain abilities. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen here, you do have these affinities. You'll need a certain amount of these affinities collected to actually get the ultimate skills off, and if the characters on your team aren't even giving you the chance to get that affinity, you won't be able to actually launch any ultimate skills off. So you want to try to build your team around getting these affinities so you can actually get the ultimate skills launched off, so you can beat the bosses easier and have a better time playing this game. But guys, that's gonna do it for the pros section for me. Let's go ahead and talk about the cons now. For me, guys, the UI is really confusing. I don't like this UI too much. I feel like it's hard to really find anything with this UI, and I feel like it's a bit bland too. Now that could just be a personal thing, but I really don't like the UI, and I find it a bit hard to navigate. I know when I first started playing the game, it was really hard for me to navigate and get around this game. I didn't even know how to get to the story, honestly, for like the first 15 minutes playing this game. And con number 2 for me, guys, which is the only other con that I have for this game, is the seasonal characters. This game is based off of a seasonal character system. So basically, after season 1, how seasonal games normally work is you won't be able to collect those characters again. This is the same way Black Clover Mobile is going to work when it comes out, from what I've seen already, is having seasonal characters. So hopefully in the future they'll allow you to get these older seasonal characters in the future, because if not, you'll be kind of stuck with these shards, and it's going to require you to pull a lot more to get these shards, to get the extra egos and stuff like that. So guys, overall for Limbus Company, I would give this game probably an 8 out of 10. The gameplay, character, and team building mechanics in this game game honestly make this game feel new and refreshing and like something I haven't played before. And I had a really fun time playing through this game and using the combat system. It just felt really unique to me, and I really enjoyed this game. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for this game. But before we hop into our second game, guys, make sure you guys drop a subscribe on the channel, because less than 5% of you guys are subscribed, and it would really help the channel out if you guys would subscribe to the channel, because I want to grow this channel out to be more of a gacha based channel rather than just all CRK. I just want to do multiple gacha games because that's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy playing multiple games, and it would really make me happy and really help us grow the channel if you guys would hit that subscribe button so we can keep making videos like this where we explore different gacha games and yeah, have a good time doing it. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about our second game now, which is the Fire Force gacha game. Guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. The Fire Force gacha game is so bad that it's become a meme in my community on Twitch. Every time I say, hey guys, I need a new game to play, I'm kind of bored right now, they tell me to go play Fire Force. Fire Force, it was the biggest waste of time of my life. It was bad. So guys, let's go ahead and talk about the cons, because I really don't have any pros for this game. So starting off with con number 1, it is not free to play friendly at all. Taking a look at the shop here, it costs around $40 for one multi-summon or $50 for one multi-summon, which is kind of crazy. Also, they don't give you very many gems from completing story. You have to complete like a whole chapter of story to get less than a single pool's worth of gems, so that's very cool too. The combat is really shallow. You basically have 4 skills you use, and you can use burst skills with other allies and stuff like that. On top of that, you have your ultimate, which let's not talk about how the ultimates look. Yeah, they're pretty bad. Character building is almost non-existent. All you have is a promotion system for getting extra souls of these characters, and then you can upgrade their skills, and there's no equipment for these characters, so that's really about it for the team building aspect. Content, there is very little content. You have your story mode, you have your event mode, and there's not really much stuff for that as well. My bad, I wrote it in my notes here. It's actually 80 USD for a multi, so that's very cash money pogger woggers. $80 for a multi-summon. And also something weird that I noticed is, just take a look at this real quick. Now, you see their lips moving, but there is no voices coming out. Now guys, keep in mind, I don't have the game muted or voices muted at all, because in the gameplay here, you can clearly hear them talking, but there's no lip flaps in the gameplay itself. So, they give you lip flaps with no talking, and then they give you talking with no lip flap. Yeah guys, honestly for this game, I would give it probably a 2 out of 10. I mean, it's Fire Force, so if you like the atmosphere of Fire Force, then you might enjoy the characters for a little while in this game, but overall, this is just an ultimate cash grab. Everything's extremely expensive. It is not free to play friendly at all, and I would not recommend you playing this game because it is kind of washed, kind of trash, and kind of bad. But you know, if you want to try it out and play it, you do you, and tell me how it goes. But guys, hopping into our final game now, which surprised me the most of all these games, I felt like Limbus Company would be good because their previous games they've made have been great. I felt like Fire Force was going to be a cash grab, because just judging from the pictures alone, it looked kind of bad. But Street Fighter also looked really bad, but I played it and it was not that bad. So guys, let's go ahead and talk about the pros and cons now for Street Fighter. It is a chill AFK game, meaning you really don't have much to work towards. You basically just go through like an endless story. Not really endless, of course, but you go through a really long story. There's so many story stages in this game where you have to keep upgrading your characters. This is a very time-consuming game, as idle games are. It's not something you can fastly complete, because the more time and money you put into idle games, the more you'll be able to progress, the easier you'll be able to progress, and the stronger your characters will be. The combat system itself is actually pretty cool. I've never really seen this done in an idle type game before. Not that I played many of them. I played AFK Arena and Eversoul, but that's really about it. Other than that, though, guys, the combat system to me look pretty unique and cool. You have a combo system essentially, whereas you'll use an ability with one character, it'll combo into another character and combo into a third character, dealing extra damage. Also, as far as the team building goes, you can choose how you want your lineup, and you can select a combo that you would want and start building off of those characters to get more combos and stuff like that. You also have support slots where you'll put characters back there in the back to give the rest of your team stat buffs. The more stages you complete, the more of these support slots you'll unlock. And then you have these EX abilities, which you can get from a separate gacha. Basically what these do is it gives you an extra ability to use during battle, and as far as team building goes, it works exactly like every other AFK game, where you have different factions. The more characters you have from that faction, the bigger stat buffs you will get, and then there's two sub factions, which is in this game Master and Infernal, which the Master class can be applied to any other faction, meaning it'll fit in any slot for that faction, and Infernal, which gives you extra stat buffs depending on how many Infernals you do have. And pro number 3, guys, is this game is super generous, but that comes with the territory of AFK games. They generally give you a lot of summons to do a lot of pulls because you need duplicates for these characters to really advance on throughout the game, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the con section. But yes, this game is very generous. They give you a lot of level up rewards, they give you a lot of rewards for summoning, they give you a lot of rewards all around for EX abilities and stuff like that. But guys, hopping out of the pros and into the cons now, content runs dry really fast in these AFK games generally, and I don't think Street Fighter has an exception to this rule because there's not much AFK content to do. There is a tower mode, there is a dungeon mode, there is your daily bounty mode, there's an event mode, and then there's also your global operations mode. I haven't really done that much because that requires you to get a lot through the story, which I don't have really the time to put into that because getting through this game can be quite difficult at times. And as far as the arena goes and PvP goes, there is arena, battle royale, and showdown. I will say the PvP is a pro. There is a lot more to do in this PvP than I have seen in other gacha games in the past, especially like the battle royale and the super showdown mode. But overall though, these events are pretty generic to AFK games, and this content does run dry fast. After maybe about 2 weeks to 3 weeks of playing this game, you'll probably get through most of this content and get bored of it if they don't add in any extra content in the game. And I think that's where AFK Arena strives at, is because they have literally so much to do. It is hard to do anything as far as dailies go unless you've been playing that game for like years now. Well, with that being said, let's go and hop into con number 2 now. This game is very grindy late game. Now, this can be said for all AFK games. The earlier game you are, the less grindy it is because it gives you a lot of mats and it's easier to level up your characters. The later game you get, you need more dupes, you need more XP, you need more awakening materials and stuff like that. You need better equipment and so on and so forth. And this is how AFK games get you. The later in the game you get, the less free-to-play friendly it becomes because of the amount of dupes you need for each character. Basically, these dupes correlate to the max level of these characters. So if you are not pulling dupes to these characters, then you're not able to upgrade these characters to a higher level, meaning you'll be level capped and you can't beat certain stages because your level of your characters are too low. It doesn't matter what strategies you use. Also, another con with this is they don't have any level sync system, it seems, that right now in the game. So that means you have to build almost every character right now, versus like in Eversouls or AFK Arena, you can put these characters in a level sync system and then they'll be basically synced up with the levels of your highest level characters on the account. I hope they add that in the future, or maybe I'm just dumb and didn't see it. But yeah, that would be really helpful out for free-to-play players because then you're not having to pour XP into literally every single character. They do have a reset character function, which is pretty nice, but I hope they add a level sync feature into the game because that would also be great. And for my final con, it's just kind of a me thing maybe. There's no settings in this game. Like, playing on my big screen right here, because I play everything on BlueStacks, I don't play it on mobile mostly, it doesn't look too good, and I can't increase the graphic quality as much as I would have hoped to. Maybe that's just a pet peeve of mine, but there's no settings for like graphics, FPS, or anything like that. And for some phones, this could be running too hard for that phone, and some phones it could look like complete dog water. So I would hope they added in some type of graphical settings, whether it be low to high settings or the render resolution, maybe, I don't know, frame rate, because then that could be able to be applied to all phones and all devices. Anyways, guys, as far as Street Fighter goes, guys, I'm actually going to give this game a 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this game as I was playing it. The combat system felt really good, it felt really nice, and I really enjoyed it. My favorite game of this week though had to be Limbus Company, but I think the combat system can speak for itself. And if you haven't played that already, please go and play it, and please tell me how it is in the comments below if you guys liked it or if you guys didn't like it. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed. Make sure to leave a subscribe so we can do more content like this if you like it. Also, guys, please give me any criticism on this series in the comments below too, because I really want to make this series better. Give me anything that you think I could do better with these videos. It would really help out and make this series better. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. Hope everyone enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one later. Bye bye. My cat was meowing.